Once Dawson was taken care of, I turned my attention back to Tony Holt. I held off making my move for a bit first. There had been a lot of commotion in the city since I killed Dawson. I knew that he'd be exposed after I killed him. It was only a matter of time before the police searched his basement for clues. What I didn't expect was the positive reception I'd received from his death. Most of the children who had been held captive by Dawson were able to return to their families after his death, destroyed any sense of coordination between his lackeys. A lot of terrible people were put behind bars in the aftermath of it all. Meanwhile, people online and even the local newspaper praised the mysterious vigilante who killed the child trafficker who'd been hiding under their noses for all that time. Even though they didn't know who I was, they called me a hero. I had intended for Dawson to disappear without a trace so that people wouldn't even be sure that he was killed or not. But I have to admit, being praised by the general public as a hero was exhilarating. More than the satisfaction of carrying out a meticulous plan, now all my hard work was being recognized and appreciated by others as well. For the first time in my life, I felt like a somebody, no longer a nameless, faceless man in the crowd. I had become the hero of the neighborhood, taking out the villains the police could not. But as the story of my perfectly justified crime faded from the public mind, so too did the elation I felt from it. I wanted to feel that way again. So when I killed Tony Holt, I did so in a way that nobody would ever forget. The connection between the death of Richard Dawson and Tony Holt wasn't lost on us. Holt had been a frequent patron of Dawson's in addition to being a known sexual assaulter with a penchant for minors after all. People started suggesting that their killers might be one on the same the day we found Holt dead on his bed. But if it really was the same killer, then he must have given up all attempts at trying to hide the body. Either way, we all had at least one vigilante on our hands. Some of my coworkers wondered if we should even try to apprehend him. That would be enough for some disciplinary action, but I didn't report them. We may be cops tasked with apprehending whoever the killer is, but before that we were also human beings, some of whom had families with kids the same age as the children Dawson and Holt abused. I really can't blame them for thinking that way. Deep down, I'm glad the killer did what he did too. I know that the law is necessary to maintain a society that won't collapse on itself, but at the same time I can't ignore the fact that people like Holt and Dawson do slip through the cracks of our system and ruin the lives of good law-abiding citizens. It's not right, but it's the truth. I couldn't blame someone for wanting to fix those injustices, even if it meant going against what the law dictated was right. Still, I had a duty to fulfill. I love my little sister Natalie more than anyone else in the world, but I could no longer have her slowing me down, now that the public will be watching as I cleanse the city of its filth. I left her with my mother and moved out of the house using money I'd saved up over the years. Seeing her crying face plead for me to stay was the only thing that made me contemplate stopping my work. But I held strong. This was as much for her sake as it was mine. I was going to make this city a better place for her. We managed to track the killer to a family apartment downtown. He was clever, that much was obvious, but in his attempt to strike again while the iron was hot, he got sloppy with his methods. A homeless man who lived in an alley near Tony Holt's apartment spotted a strange young man nearby the day of the murder. It only took a bribe of the cheapest whiskey from the local liquor store to get him to talk. The homeless man knew about Holt's reputation as a violent man, and had settled down in an alley nearby because of it. His shoddy reasoning was that nobody would dare come around to stir trouble knowing that a guy like that was around. When I asked him what kept Holt from pummeling him himself, he just laughed and said that he was too much of a nobody for Holt to even notice him. Which, yeah, fair. I was actively looking for possible witnesses in the area and only managed to find him out of pure luck when he startled me by sneezing right behind me. We asked him for details on the suspect, and he gave us a detailed description of him. He looked young, barely past high school age, so we assumed that he must either be a new graduate or a dropout. After that, it was only a matter of looking through the records of schools for people who matched the description and asking the homeless man to point him out. After a lot of trial and error, we found him. He was the son of a known drug dealer who'd been killed by a rival gang member. Said gang member then mysteriously went missing without a trace, though at the time it was assumed to be a hit from a rival gang. Knowing what we know now, that gangbanger might have very well been the first victim in what was slowly becoming a string of vigilante murders. Called me not so long ago telling me that the police had come searching for me. It seems I've been careless with my latest murder. Still, there was no point in panicking. Natalie, dutiful sister as she was, didn't tell them anything about me no matter how much they prodded. She was panicking in tears by the time she called. I told her that everything was going to be fine. I lied. At first, I'd planned on moving to a cheap apartment in the city, but that won't be an option anymore. No doubt the police will look through any paperwork I signed and trace me to that apartment. I immediately packed up all my things and left for the forest just off the edge of my neighborhood. I knew from my past research that an abandoned house lay there, built and forgotten by a rich man who had died a long time ago without leaving it to anyone. Breaking in should be easy, and it would serve as a new base away from prying eyes. I don't expect this to last forever. Sooner or later, the police will get their act together and find out where I am, either because of a mistake I'll make, or through searching everywhere in the city, including this forest. But before that happens, I will leave my mark in this city, in blood. No matter what the police say, I'm already a hero for the common people oppressed by the gangs and thugs that abuse them. Even if the police kill me during my last stand against them, it will only make me become a martyr for everyone whose lives I've improved with my murders. I may have been born into this world as a nobody, but I will leave it as a nightmare for those who abuse their power, and a tragic hero for those who are victims to them.